Man, let me tell you about this time. Shannon was so stinking prejudiced. I know y'all don't believe me, right? I was with her. I saw it. I know you think, oh, Shannon, she's such a sweet angel. She never did. Well, here. Now she's going, why do you have to make it all about me? You were there. So Shannon and I went on this K-Love cruise. You guys know familiar with the K-Love cruise? This cruise went out of Long Beach in California, and I went down to Mexico and had all, it was all a Christian cruise, and so all the bars had Christian concerts going in them and no alcohol, and, the blackjack dealers were playing solitaire. I mean, there was just nothing to do. And so we had a great time down there. So we come back in, and we're going to catch our flight to fly home from LAX, and so we get on the plane, and like, it's, I don't know what it is, seven, I don't know. And so, there's 3 seats on each side in the aisle, and then 3 seats. And so I think, if I remember right, I was sitting by the window, and Shannon was sitting in the middle seat. And so that left one person to sit in the aisle seat. And so we're sitting there in the aisle seat, and a guy walks down the aisle. Now listen, this is 2005. This is 3.5 years after 9/11. This is right after the knucklehead tried to light his shoe on fire or whatever. So now everybody's got to go barefooted through the airport, right? And so we're sitting there, and this guy walks up, and he sits down by Shannon. Now let me tell you, man, he's got this scruffy beard. He's got dark olive skin, and I'm looking at him, and Shannon's looking at me, and and so he's got on a olive green military looking jacket. Kind of looks a little bit like Yasser Arafat, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay? And so we're sitting there, but he's real nervous acting, real anxious, and he's just fidgeting, and he's looking around, and he's looking at the stewardess and all that. And Shannon's looking at me, I'm looking at her, and she's looking at him, and then his friend comes by. And he's like, hey, what's, and he says, oh, they took my bag when I got on the plane. Oh, no, really? Yeah, they took my bag. And we're going, oh, man, this guy's got a bomb in that bag somewhere. This is about to get ugly right here. I mean, listen, in our minds, we were sitting next to a radical Islamic terrorist that was about to blow up the plane. And Shannon was convinced I needed to do something about it. Right? I mean, listen. And you're saying, well, Willis, that's not prejudice, man. You guys are just being vigilant. You're being protected. That's safe, man. That's smart. That's the wise thing to do. Listen to me, church. That's prejudice. That's prejudice. Oh, no, you were justified in those feelings. After all that had happened, after 9/11, after the knucklehead with the shoe fire, whatever he was trying to do. After all that, you were justified. You had every right to feel that way. No, church, I was prejudiced. Let me tell you about this guy. Eventually, one of us, I don't remember who, says, so, man, what's up? He said, oh, I'm from Brazil. I've been in Los Angeles because I build custom surfboards. And all the cash I made while I was building a surfboard was in my carry-on bag. And they took it. And now I'm afraid I'm going to lose all my money. And I'm like, wait, what? Not an Arab terrorist? Not a bomb maker, but a surfboard builder from Brazil? You see, church, that's prejudice. And in our minds, we can rationalize it, and we can justify it, and we can defend ourselves, and we can say, I'm not prejudiced, but, and I'll tell you what, nothing good ever comes after that. The fact remains that man did nothing to deserve the things I thought about him. The things other people around me on that plane, we made that judgment simply based on his appearance. Because listen to me, if he had been a red-headed Irish boy, if he had looked like Doug Massey, nobody would even have noticed him. We wouldn't even have noticed him. Nobody would have been afraid. Everybody was making the judgment based on his appearance, based on the color of his skin. Listen to me, church. It takes honesty. It takes integrity to recognize our prejudice, our racism. and to admit it to God and to repent of it. Now let me tell you, God changes us. Last time we flew from LAX to we flew out of John Wayne from Southern California back to New Orleans. Shannon did have a Pakistani man sit on the seat next to her. And he was the Surgeon General of Pakistan, and she shared the gospel with him. That's how God changes you, church. That's how God changes you. Listen, we've got to recognize our own prejudice. Church, we have to admit it. We have to admit our own prejudice. I don't know what it might be in your life, in your family, in your home, but you have to admit that you grew up with some prejudice of some kind, thinking certain things about certain people. And what we have to do is we have to have the courage to see that in our own lives, to admit that it exists.